Hey guys, Chase here, Southern Sky Farm. This afternoon I'm going to shoot a video and kind of show y'all the fencing that I've done in this particular paddock. And then I'll show y'all the product of overgrazing in early spring, right there at the end of feeding hay. So over here in this paddock, basically the tree line over here and then it shoots up there is a fence, and the bull paddock is over here on the other side. Then in this paddock right here is where I had the cows, heifers, and the calves, and I basically gave them around an acre to an acre and a half for 27 head of cattle over a 24-hour period. And obviously some paddocks were a little bit smaller, and then a few of them were probably a little bit bigger. And that's just a rough guesstimation. So then over here, I back fenced the cows so they could not go back there and graze what they had grazed the previous 24 hours. So I took a fence and it's right in this area, and then I just came off of the bull fence, came over here, and then shot a line up there to high tensile fence that's up there in the background in that area. And then when I gave them a new paddock, I would just skip over here, put a new strand of fence up, and then up there where the high tensile is, I would move the cows, because that's where the reel was. I would move the cows to the next paddock and then reel up their last paddock. So I'm going to back up a little bit and show y'all kind of where the waterer is, and then how the paddocks were laid out. So you can see the waterer there, and the best picture that I have right now for y'all kind of see is this paddock right here. Now this paddock is definitely smaller than I've been running them in, but you can see a strand that goes up here somewhere, and then a strand that they have a corner right in this area, and that strand is going that way, and then the one to the right is going to the paddock where the bulls are, so they can't back graze this section here that they've already grazed. So this is just a skinny little path, and it goes all the way up there and then around that direction, and the cows, they're up there somewhere. You may be able to see them in the video. And that one's smaller because I was just trying to preserve the rest of this field, because I work the next 2 days. Today is Sunday and I work Monday and Tuesday. So the next paddock that I put them in is definitely going to be a lot bigger than the kind of way I've been running it for this entire weekend, and then the couple days before the weekend started. The next paddock that they are in, I'm going to move them this afternoon since I have to work in the morning. So you can kind of see that in this area right here is where polywire goes. That is going to be the boundary line, and then when I move them this afternoon or evening, this middle strand right here is going to get rolled up, and they'll have this entire area here, and then it goes up and kind of goes over to the right a little bit, and that area is probably 3 acres. Maybe it's probably 3 acres is going to be that spot, and then they'll be on that for 2 days. And on Wednesday morning I'll put up another paddock, and then we'll move them off of this kind of bigger paddock right in this area. So that's kind of how I set up, having the waterer behind me and then just kind of running long paddocks. I wish they were a little bit more square, but with where the water is, that's kind of what we have, is what we have to make work. So that's kind of how I grazed this section right here. And if you have any questions about kind of how I did the fencing using the polywire and the step-in post, you can either comment below or just shoot an email, and I can send you some pictures, or I can kind of explain it in a better video later on. And then kind of here, I made just this corner. I'm using this post right here to basically hold this post back so it doesn't bend it. And then obviously on this side, I kind of did the same exact thing, with the reel being on the ground is kind of what is holding this line right here pretty tight. So that was that section. And then in reference to what does it look like when you overgraze in the early springtime, late winter time, when you're still feeding bales but they're also eating grass. So this section, I'm sure you can see, in this video. To the left of the step-in posts and wire is where we heavily overgrazed at the early springtime. The grass, besides right here where the waterer is, the grass is maybe 4 inches tall, maybe 8 to 10 inches tall in some areas. And I'm gonna hop this wire and I'll show y'all kind of the taller spots. You can see this darker grass, that's definitely taller than the grass over here. That grass is maybe 4 inches, 3 inches tall. And this is, and some of them are probably 10 inches tall where it's dark green. But if it's not dark green, it's only around 4 inches tall, basically in this entire field. So I was gonna put the cows in this field, but I decided that I don't want to overgraze it again and basically have the same problem that I have now. So I'm actually going to not graze this entire paddock this time, and the next go round when I come back into this area, then hopefully it's kind of recovered and I'll be able to graze this area in basically the hot summertime. And I'll do the same exact thing. I'll use this automatic waterer and I'll come over here and I'll just shoot paddocks, basically long rectangles all the way around, basically doing the wagon wheel type grazing system with the waterer kind of in the middle. So that's what I'll do in this section. But you can definitely see the graze line where I had this section right here was definitely overgrazed, and this paddock over here had some time for recovery. I wish I didn't have to graze this field and let it grow up a little bit more, but that is what it is for now until I can get these other fields that I'm trying to make into pasture rolling. So on the left side, I have my notes here just so y'all kind of have some dates. On the left side, the last time the cows were moved, or the last time the cows were in the field on the left, was May the 8th. So the cows were last on the field to the left of the wire May the 8th. And you can see that's a decent amount of time. I think we're at a month basically. So that's not too bad a growth for a month, but I wish it was a lot better. And then on the right side, this entire area all the way over here to where the bull paddock is, that area was last grazed on April the 21st. So from April to 21st to today's date, which is June the 4th, I believe, this paddock on the right has had rest. So that's not too bad a recovery time for this. This area wasn't as overgrazed as this area over here on the left. So that's kind of a difference you can see in how many days of rest it was and how well it grew. We don't use any fertilizer in here at all. We do use a compost and potash mix when we can get it, and we'll spread that on the fields. But other than that, that's all we use. No fertilizer is used here on Southern Sky Farm, period. So that'll conclude this video of just kind of explaining my paddock layout, how I ran the wire, and then what it looks like in reference to rest period if you overgraze a paddock in the early spring and you don't kind of rotate your cows as fast as we're rotating our cows now. But we're learning as we go, and hopefully by having this YouTube channel, other people can learn from our mistakes, and we can kind of work together to be more productive at farming. So thanks for watching, guys, this video. Don't forget to like our channel, subscribe to our channel, comment below, and we also have an email up now that if y'all want to contact us and have a separate conversation about what we're doing here, then you can send us an email. Thanks for watching, guys.